Have you ever pondered over the origins of the Jewish people? It's a tale that traces back thousands of years, intricately woven into the tapestry of human history. The story of the Jewish people begins as recorded in biblical texts, with the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. According to these ancient texts, Abraham, the first patriarch, hailed from Ur in Mesopotamia. He's revered as the father of monotheism, introducing the concept of a single, all-powerful God. His journey led him to the land of Canaan, which God promised to him and his descendants. Next in line was Isaac, the son of Abraham and Sarah. His story is famously marked by the binding of Isaac, a test of faith where Abraham was asked to sacrifice his son. A divine intervention spared Isaac, further strengthening the covenant between God and the descendants of Abraham. Then comes Jacob, the son of Isaac and Rebekah. Jacob, later known as Israel, is best remembered for his 12 sons who went on to establish the 12 tribes of Israel. Each son became a patriarch of a tribe, marking the formation of the Israelite nation. These 12 tribes, each unique yet united, symbolize the early establishment of Jewish culture and society. They settled in the land of Canaan, each tribe in its own territory, under a loose confederation. This period laid the groundwork for the Jewish identity, ethics, laws, and traditions that continue to shape Jewish life to this day. This origin story, rooted in faith and family, is more than just a historical account. It's a narrative that has shaped a people and their worldview, a story of resilience and survival, of promises and covenants, of faith and identity. It's a journey that starts with a single family and grows into a nation. But this is just the beginning. The journey of the Jewish people is long and winding, filled with trials and triumphs, exile and return, persecution and resilience. It's a story that continues to unfold, even to this day. From this humble origin, the Jewish people would go on to make a significant impact on the world. The story of the Exodus marks a turning point in Jewish history. This is the tale where the Jewish people, enslaved in Egypt, find their liberation through a series of divine interventions led by Moses, a man chosen by God himself. The narrative is as riveting as it is significant, with 10 plagues befalling the Egyptians, the parting of the Red Sea, and the eventual journey to the Promised Land. But this was not just a journey of physical freedom, it was a spiritual voyage as well. For it was during this exodus that Moses received the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai, shaping the moral and ethical compass of the Jewish people, and indeed influencing the collective moral consciousness of the world. The Promised Land, as it came to be known, was where the biblical kingdoms of Israel and Judah were established. These kingdoms were not just territories but symbols of Jewish autonomy and identity. King David, a shepherd turned warrior turned king, is a central figure in this era. Known for his poetic prowess and military victories, David established Jerusalem as the political and spiritual capital of the Jewish people. Then came King Solomon, David's son, renowned for his wisdom. He built the first temple in Jerusalem, creating a central place of worship for the Jewish people and housing the Ark of the Covenant. This temple became a symbol of unity and a beacon of Jewish faith. However, history is often a cycle of rises and falls. The kingdoms of Israel and Judah, despite their grandeur, were not immune to this cycle. They eventually fell to invading empires, leading to the destruction of the first temple and initiating a period of exile and diaspora. The fall of these kingdoms marked the start of a long period of diaspora for the Jewish people. But through every challenge thrown their way, the Jewish people held on to their faith and identity, ensuring their survival and the continuation of their rich cultural and religious legacy. The dispersion of Jews throughout the world has shaped their history in profound ways. This journey begins with the Roman diaspora, a pivotal chapter in Jewish history. In the 1st century, after a long and brutal siege, the Romans destroyed the Second Temple in Jerusalem, the heart and soul of Jewish religious life. This catastrophic event marked the beginning of the Jewish diaspora, scattering the Jewish people across different corners of the Roman Empire and beyond. As they moved, they carried their traditions, their faith, and their tenacity into new lands and cultures. During the Middle Ages, life for Jews was a tapestry woven with threads of both prosperity and persecution. There were periods of relative peace where Jewish communities flourished, contributing to the societies they lived in through commerce, science, and philosophy. But there were also times of intense persecution. The Spanish Inquisition, for instance, was a dark era that cast a long and ominous shadow. Instituted in the late 15th century, this religious tribunal targeted Jews who had converted to Christianity but were suspected of secretly practicing their old faith. Many were expelled, others were tortured, and some were executed. A community that had once thrived was left in ruins. Yet, throughout these periods of upheaval and displacement, something remarkable happened. Jewish communities across the globe held fast to their unique identity. They clung to their traditions and cultural practices, from observing the Sabbath to the study of the Torah. They built synagogues, schools, and formed tight-knit communities, a testament to their resilience and their enduring spirit. Despite the challenges, the persecution, and the pain, the Jewish people never lost their sense of identity. Their culture, their traditions, their faith. These were the anchors that held them steady in the tumultuous seas of diaspora and persecution. Despite these challenges, Jewish communities preserved their culture and traditions. And in doing so, they have ensured that the rich tapestry of Jewish history continues to be woven, thread by resilient thread, into the fabric of our global story. The 20th century brought both tragedy and triumph for the Jewish people. The early part of the century saw the rise of Zionism, a political movement with the aim of establishing a Jewish state in the land of Israel. This movement was born out of centuries of longing and dreaming for a return to their ancestral homeland, a place where Jews could live free from the persecution they had faced in various parts of the world. Theodor Herzl, often considered the father of modern political Zionism, galvanized this movement with his vision of a sovereign Jewish state. But as the dream of a Jewish homeland was taking shape, dark clouds were gathering over Europe. The mid-20th century saw one of the most horrific events in human history, the Holocaust. This systematic, state-sponsored genocide perpetrated by Nazi Germany resulted in the death of 6 million Jews, 2/3 of the Jewish population in Europe. The Holocaust was a period of profound sorrow and loss. Jews were rounded up, deported, and murdered. Communities that had existed for centuries were wiped out. The world stood by largely silent as this genocide unfolded. It was a time of darkness, despair, and unspeakable horror. The enormity of the loss is still felt today. Yet the Holocaust also served to galvanize the Zionist movement. The desperate need for a safe haven for Jews became painfully clear. The world could no longer ignore the Jewish plight or the validity of their quest for a homeland. In the ashes of the Holocaust, the dream of a Jewish state took on a new urgency. The international community, shocked by the scale of the Holocaust, began to support the idea of a Jewish state. In 1947, the United Nations voted in favor of the partition of Palestine, paving the way for the establishment of Israel the following year. In the aftermath of this horrific event, the dream of a Jewish state became a reality. The Holocaust was a tragic chapter in Jewish history, but it also underscored the necessity and inevitability of the Zionist dream. The establishment of the State of Israel marked a new chapter in Jewish history. In the wake of World War II, amid the scars of the Holocaust, the United Nations approved a plan for the partition of Palestine, leading to the creation of a Jewish state in 1948. This was a pivotal moment that culminated centuries of Jewish diaspora and longing for a homeland. The State of Israel not only provided a refuge for Jews who had survived unimaginable horrors, but also stood as a symbol of hope and resilience for Jews worldwide. The birth of Israel, however, was not without its complexities. It sparked conflicts with its Arab neighbors that reverberate to this day, adding another layer to the intricate narrative of Jewish history. Despite the trials and tribulations, the State of Israel has grown and thrived, becoming a hub of innovation and a beacon for Jewish culture. Beyond the borders of Israel, Jewish life has also evolved in the contemporary diaspora. Today, Judaism is not a monolith but a colorful tapestry of traditions and beliefs, reflecting the diversity of the Jewish people themselves. There are several denominations, each with its unique interpretation of Jewish law and tradition. From Orthodox and conservative to Reform and Reconstructionist, these denominations represent a broad spectrum of religious observance and philosophical thought. Yet, amidst this diversity, there is a shared commitment to preserving Jewish culture. The customs and traditions passed down through generations continue to be celebrated, from the lighting of the Shabbat candles to the joyous festivities of Purim and Hanukkah. The Hebrew language, once on the brink of extinction, is now spoken by millions, and Jewish literature, music, and art continue to enrich the global cultural landscape. From their ancient origins to the present day, the journey of the Jewish people is a testament to their resilience and enduring cultural legacy. Despite challenges and hardships, Jewish history is not just a story of survival, but also one of flourishing and contributing significantly to the world we know today.